So today's agenda is data-driven testing. What is the need of the data-driven testing? Let me explain let me clear this agenda as well. So we all are in the same page. And let me quit all those things because it's taking huge RAM of my system. Tabs are open. Oh my God, 10 GB is getting consumed. No worries, no worries. I think it should be fine now. Just a minute. This is not required. This is also not required. Anyways, it is consuming more space. Just a minute, guys. Okay. So understand the things first. Why we need a data-driven testing. So let's suppose you have a application like okay, we have an application. Where is that application? Open browser. Yes, this was the application on which we were trying to automate something. So just launch this application once. Just launch this application once and let's see. Okay, so this is the application. And here, what is the need of the data-driven testing? First, just try to understand. So in real time, we are not passing correct username and correct password in one shot. We used to pass different kind of permutation combination like wrong username, correct password, correct username, wrong password, incorrect username, incorrect password, and correct username and correct password. So what is the behavior application is showing? That is also a one of the task of automation. So how we can say this is the data means how you can pass this in real time wrong data and wrong password. Sometimes this is the one use case I can say. Another use case is also might be like we are dealing with the payment gateways, and in payment gateways the things are very critical, and every time test credentials are getting changed like card number, CVV number, password, data means valid date, all those things is getting changed very randomly. So in order to overcome this kind of problem, every time we cannot say to everyone to go to the code and change the things, right? So that's what we are going to, we are going to maintain a one sheet, one, you can say one CSV sheet we can maintain, one Excel sheet we can maintain, one IML sheet we can maintain, JSON format data we can maintain, anything, any third party tool we can use, and where we can store our data and we can dump our data, and from there we can keep taking the data and will pass to the data in our these fields. Like right now I am giving the example of username and password. Might be tomorrow you will get another use case where you have to fetch the data for something else, right? So in that case, how you can say what are the data we are passing? Let's suppose you are saying, no, I am passing the admin at the rate of yourstore.com only, but who knows who is taking care of all those things? So better to pass from the code, better to hard code from these things from the code. We used to keep inside of one Excel sheet, and from that Excel sheet we are going to take the data and we are going to pass this data. And if the username and password is correct, then we will mark the things like a pass or fail, right? So what I'm trying to do, I just open this Excel sheet, and here what I'm trying to do, I'm just creating one Excel sheet like email, password, okay, and pass fail, like whether the test case is getting pass or fail, right? And here I'm passing the email name blah 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 at gmail.com. Okay, and here we are passing like password is Rajesh, and here we are, here our code will write ki whether this username and password is correct or not. If it is correct, then it will throw pass. If it is not correct, then it will throw fail. Similarly, okay, both are wrong. Now I'm passing the correct username and incorrect password. So let me pass this correct username and correct password. So correct password will be sorry, incorrect password, right? So I'm passing Rajesh, and these things will be taken care by this. Now I'm passing correct username, incorrect username and correct password. So incorrect username is what? Um, at the rate of gmail.com. This is incorrect username, and password is correct password, admin. And now, fourth case, I am trying to iterate like now correct username and correct password. So this is my correct username and correct password is admin. Okay, and here we are passing. Now our data is prepared. Our data is prepared. Now what to do? Just try to understand here. So once your data has been created, the next task is you have to save this data. Either you can save anywhere. So I am going to save this data, control S, or else you can save file and save. So anything, whatever you want to do. And here it is going to store in my document folder. So I'm going to keep the name as a login dot xlsx. Okay, save this file. I'm going to save this and save this file. It's saved. Now I have to take the data one by one. I have to take the data one by one. Let me make it is bigger. So I have to take a data one by one from this, and I have to pass into this page. This is our agenda. Yes, yeah. Okay, if you are using window, in case of window, it is taking automatically, but I am using Ubuntu. So that's what I have to explicitly, you have to give these extensions, because Ubuntu support all the file format, but window will not support this all file format. It will support XLS, CSV and XLSX. So these are the different kind of folder structure they used to support. If you want to support a multiple file format, then you have to install one more application in window which name it as a spreadsheet, so that you can walk around that. But anyway, this, but in case of Ubuntu, we have to give actually right now I'm showing with the UI, right? But in real time I used to show like this. Let me show you. CD documents and ls vi, everything with the command line only I used to show. See, everything is here, right? In my case, you are not able to visible, means it is not able to user friendly. But yes, some instant we used to follow this thing. But right now just follow these things, means we are taking the data, we are storing our data driven. In your use case, it might be in future you will get another use case, right? So you can, and also here the seat name. So seat name, you can give here seat name like a login seat name, right? Login seat name it is, and give anything. Now next, up to this, any doubt? Just we created an Excel file, that's all. We are not doing anything else. Now the thing is that we have to take the data from here to our code, and from code to where? To code. So I would like to wait a minute. I would like to share my one more screen, and what is the complete agenda will be. Let's try to understand. So here is my, are you able to see my screen? Whiteboard. Let me check that. No, you're not able to see. Acha. Just a minute. Let me share my screen. Okay, so just a minute. You just try to understand. This is our Excel sheet. Now it's fine, right? Are you able to see, right? This is our Excel sheet. This is our code, and this is our application. So what is our agenda? This is our Excel sheet. This is our Excel sheet. Just a minute. Put on a charge. One minute, huh? This is our Excel sheet, and here is our code. Here is will be our code, and here is our application. So what we are trying to do, we are taking the data, we are trying to take the data, and just we are trying to take the data from here. We are just trying to take the data from here to the code, and from code to the application we are trying to pass. And if this username and password is correct and we are able to successfully log into the application, then from here we are taking the output as a feedback. And if login got successfully, then we have a column, right? And in that column, if test case got pass or fail, we are going to write also. Here we are applying the read operation as well as write operation, both we have to do at the same time. Hope you understood what is the agenda. We have to take a Excel sheet. In that Excel sheet we have a data, and from the Excel sheet we are going to read the data, and we are going to pass those data to the application. And if the application got successfully login, right now we have a login use case, but in future you might get some another use case like a payment gateway. As already I told you, I used to do these things. So if payment got successfully, then I used to write in the Excel sheet like a pass or fail. So this thing also we are trying to do. Okay, so let me 1 minute. Let me share my once again my screen. Okay, so here also we are doing the same thing as far I know. Okay, so here also we are doing the same thing. Here we are reading the data from here, and we are taking the password, and if test case pass, then we will write here by code itself automatically. It's got pass, it got fail. And once it is done, just save it. Otherwise it won't work. First save the file. Control S, Control S, Control S. Now coming to the coding part. So we have to do the coding, and we have to read the data from the Excel sheet. And in order to read the data from the Excel sheet, what we have to do, we have to install one plugin, Python library, which is known as the OpenPyXL. So just go to Google and search for this OpenPyXL. So I will share this link, or else if you want that, you can also go through that. Just search OpenPyXL in Google, and you will get PyPy package. This is the PyPy package, official repository of OpenPyXL. Okay, you can also create your own package and you can deploy in the PyXL. That is not a doubt. And copy this command. Just copy this command and go to your PyCharm. There is a one way. This is the one way. Just go to the terminal and paste that command. This is the one way. Just install. Another way, you can go to the file and setting, and there is a project interpreter section. You will get it out, and here is the plus symbol is there, right? Install, and here open PyXL. You can search, and here you are getting that option and install. This is also one of this is the way of UI, but in real time we are not doing these things in this way. So we used to do like this only: pip install OpenPyXL, and it's getting installed. Now things are got installed. Right now, this is the library which will help us. See, there is another way also is there, but this library make our task is very easier, right? So now so now three things we have to do. First thing, we have to read the data, we have to pass the data, and third thing, we have to write the data into Excel. So for doing these things, what we are trying to do, we are trying to create a separate method. So it will be easy to call there. So I'm going to create one Python file, and that Python file, I will give the name Excel utils. This is completely our package. Okay, Excel utils. And here what we are trying to do, we are first trying to import OpenPyXML. See, right now it is giving me suggestion OpenPyXL, but if you will not install this library, you will not get that option, right? So first thing what we have to do, how many time we have to run our script, how many time we have to run our, we have to pass the username and password. That who will give the count? It will given by the count by this row number, right? So first thing, we have to count the row number, how many data we have. So what we are trying to do, we are creating one method, def get row count. and here get row count, and here we are passing the two things we have to pass, which file, because in your laptop might be there is a multiple Excel sheet will be there, so which file we have to pick the file, and in the Excel sheet it might be there is a multiple sheet will be there, right? So that is also problem, and so that we have to pass two things, one is file, another is sheet name. So that's all. Now we have what we are checking here, we are checking how many rows are there. So if you, in order to take the row number, we have to load our workbook. So open PyExcel dot load workbook, and here we are going to pass our file, and what it will return, it will return workbook. So we are going to store in this workbook in a variable of workbook. Now we got our workbook, and in that workbook we have to get the sheet name. So workbook dot get sheet names. So here is the method get sheet by name, and here we are passing the sheet name, and what it will return, it will return sheet, right? And stored inside of sheet variable. Now this is done. Next, return what we are trying to return, we are trying to return how many rows are there, right? So return sheet dot max row, max underscore row. Okay, so that's all. So we got our these things, means we got our how many rows are there. Now we have to also we have to calculate how many columns are there, right? So def get column name, column count, and here again we have to pass two things like file and sheet, because which file count column you want to count, or which sheet column you want to count. So file and sheet name, that's all. And here what we are trying to do, similarly we are going to open PyExcel dot load workbook, and here we are going to pass the file name, and this is the workbook, so stored inside of workbook, and that's all. And now we have to get the sheet name, right? So sheet is equal to workbook dot get sheet by name, and here we are passing the sheet name. That's all. We got the sheet name. Now we have to count the maximum column, right? So return sheet, in that sheet dot maximum row, we got maximum underscore column, column, column. Yes, so this is done. Now get column. Now we have to read the data. So for reading the data, again we are going to create one method, so we can directly call this method, that's all. So no need to write a complex line of code in the code itself. We have a utils file, and with that utils files we are going to read the data. Similarly, we have to write a method to write a data in the Excel sheet. So def, and again what are the things you need to read this file? We need file to need anyway, we need a file, we need a sheet name, and we need a file, we need a row number and column number, from where you want to, from where it's very distracting, the WhatsApp messages. And yeah, so what I was trying to say, so like if, in order to read the data, what are the things we need? We need row number plus column number, then only we can read. So file name, sheet name, and row number, column number, we need to read the data. Similarly, I'm going to write a method read data, and here we are going to pass four things like file, anyway we have to pass from where you have to read, sheet name we have to pass from where you have to from which sheet you want to read, and then row number, we need a row number, comma, column number. Okay, so we need three things, and also we need a data. What is the use of data? I will tell you. And now again these things is common, we have to load we have to get the seat name. These three things, two things are common, right? So I'm not going to write a code. I'm just copy pasting here, Control Shift V. That's all. Now, now what we are trying to do, just try to understand, huh? We are going to read the data. Okay, for reading the data, wait. For reading the data, this data is not required. And then what we are trying to do, we are trying to read the data, right? So return sheet dot cell, sheet dot cell, and here we are passing the row is equal to, from which row you want to read the data, row number equal to row number, and comma column, right? So we are passing the column number, and here we are passing the column number. That's all. So we pass the column number, and what we are trying to fetch, value, dot value. Okay, so it will return me whatever row number we are passing, whatever column number. Let's suppose I'm passing the second row and first column. So second row, first column. So it will return me this email ID, right? Similarly, we have to write a method to write a data, def write data. And here again we need, okay, here these things to needed anyway, this thing we needed, file name, sheet name, because in which row, in which column you want to write that anyway we need, right? So I'm passing this, and comma, what we need next thing, we need what data you want to write. So data also we need. That's what we have, these things. Now again, this workbook and sheet name is common, because we have to load the workbook and we have to get the sheet name. So these things is common. So anyway, this is done. Now on which cell you want to write, right? So what we are trying to do, sheet dot cell, and here we are going to pass the row, okay, row, and here row number, and which column you want to get. So column is equal to column number. That's all. And once it is done, then what we are trying to do, dot value is equal to, in this place what we are trying to store, whatever data you want to write, data. That's all. And now after writing the data, our job is that save the file also, right? So workbook dot save, and here we are going to pass the file and it will save the file. That's all. So we have now methods. We have methods for get the, how many rows are there, how many columns are there, for reading the data, for writing the data. Anything else we are doing in Excel sheet? Nothing else, right? So these are the things we are doing. Now these are the utils file we had created, and now what we are trying to do, we are trying to create one more file, Python file, new Python file, and here we are going to give the data driven test cases. Now in this data driven test case, what we are trying to do, first thing, we have to import our Excel utils, because in Excel utils we have written all those methods. So see, initially you were using another libraries. Now you had created your own library. This is your own library. Can you see this? Now you can import this library in your wherever you want. Right now we want that library in the data driven test cases, but at the later stage you can read the data from the any file, any Excel sheet. So in that case, this library you can use anywhere, right? So what I'm trying to do, import Excel utils, and we need from Selenium also need from Selenium, import WebDriver, right? This is done. Now what are the things we need? We need a driver object. So driver is equal to WebDriver dot Chrome driver. I used to work on a Chrome only, and here we have to pass dot driver. What is that, drivers, right? Okay, spelling mistake is there, sorry. Drivers, and inside of drivers we need a Chrome driver. Yes, that's all. So driver, this will open what it will do, it will open the Chrome browser. Open the Chrome browser. Next, once this is done, then next what we have to do, next we have to pass the path of the Excel sheet, right? So path is equal to here, just go to the okay, this is my document, right? And go to the document and control L. Okay, control L, copy this path, control C. In your case you can take, and that file name is login.xls. So login.xls, xlsx, yes. So this is the path of file. Now we need, how many rows are there, right? So rows, okay. So excel utils dot get row count is the method, right? Get row count is the method, right? So in this thing, two things we need. You can see file and sheet name. What is the file? Path is my file, comma, sheet name is what? You can see login is my sheet name. So you can pass the login sheet name. So it will, what it will return? It will return how many rows are there. So here we are going to write rows equal to this. Now this is done. Now we have to take a data one by one from these rows and we have to get it out, right? So what I'm trying to do, for r in, we can say for r in rows or range, and here we are passing 2 comma rows plus 1. Why I am passing these things? Just let me explain these things, right? Okay, hope this is bit critical, but yes, I will try to explain you. For I in range, just I'm trying to explain you, range 2 comma 7, print I. Okay, so what it is going, for I in range, embedded range, yes. What happened? Acha, sorry, in, I forget in. Yes, can you see this? I'm getting the output 2, 4, 5, 6, right? I'm not getting 7, right? So if you are taking the row count, how many rows it will return? It will return, let me show you. It will return 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 row, but it will not go sixth wala row. Why it will not go sixth wala row? Just because range function attribute, we know it will not pick the last data. 7 is not going to print. So that's what, if you pass the 8, then only 7 data will get print. Make sense? So that's what we are trying to pass here, row plus 1. Next, this is done. Now we have to take the username and password, right? So username, okay, Excel utils, first Excel utils dot, we have to read the data now, read data, and for reading the data we need file, sheet name, row number, column number, right? So what we are trying to pass, file to is inside of path, and sheet is where? Sheet is what? Sheet is login name. Login is the sheet. Login is the sheet name. Can you see this? Yes, login is the sheet, right? So no doubt. And next we need a row number, right? So row number will taken by from this. See, first it will take second row. So what is the second row? Second row is this one. Can you see this? Second row, 1, 2, second row, right? So second row, and column number. What is the column number? Was first column. Can you see this? This is the first column. So comma 1, right? So what it will return? It will return me username. Yeah, that's all. Now similarly we can gather the data for the password, right? So Excel utils dot read data. Again we have to read the data. See, right, we have all those method. Initially we were using another library. Right now you are creating your own library and you are using those methods. So are you getting the confidence of building the library? And you can expose this library in PyPy repository also, so anyone can use your library, right? So that is also possible. Okay, so path comma, and here we have to pass the sheet name. Sheet name is the login, and again we need a column name. So column name, from where we have to read this row, same row, and column name will be 2. Column name will be 2. So row is row and column is 2. So what it will return was, it will return password. So we got the password also. Any doubt so far? So we have all those things. Initially, yes. Sorry. My bad. I should write here R. Okay. So I was explaining and I wrote it like this. Okay. So now we have a username, we have a password. Next, what to do? We have to pass this username in the username field, and we have to pass the password in password field. So just go to Google and search this page. This is the page, and Control Shift C, and here you can take the XPath for this. If there is ID is there. Yes, ID is there, right? So just copy this ID, boss, and go to your code, and here you can write driver dot find element by ID, and here you can pass your ID, and this is what? Can anyone please tell me? This is the user name text box underscore ID. User name underscore text box. This is the text box underscore ID, and here we are going to store our username. And on top of this username text box ID, we have to clear this field. So username text box ID dot clear function we have to call, and on top of these we have to pass our username. Okay, so username text box ID dot send keys. Send keys is the method. We are not doing anything new, just we are taking the data and we are passing that send keys, and here we are passing the username, whatever username we got. Okay, if you want to check whether what is the username it is getting, so you can write a print statement, and you can print in console also what is the username it is getting picked. Now similarly we have to do for the password also, right? Anything new we are doing, driver dot find element. If your earlier concept is clear, then I don't think so it's a big problem for you. So password here also ID is there, right? So Control C and driver dot find element by ID, and here we are going to pass the password, and this is what? Password text box, right? Again, password WRT underscore text box underscore ID, right? And here we are going to pass this ID, and again we have to clear the password, right? So password text box ID dot clear, and it will clear that, and then password text box ID dot send keys, and here we have to pass the whatever password we are getting, right? So this password we have to pass, right? So if you want to check what the password we got, so you can print that password. Next is this is done. Okay, cool. So we got username, we got password, and next what we have to do, we have to get the login button. So just click on this and search the login button. What is the XPath for this? Do you know what is the XPath and how we can go? There is no ID, there is no name. So we have to go either with the text function or what? Or XPath, means we have to go with the XPath only. So what we are trying to say, just a minute. Who want to write the XPath for this? Anyone? Button at the or text function, right? Yeah, equal to value. Yeah, correct. So we got one matching node, Control A, Control C, and go to your browser coding and driver dot find element. This battery also got slow. Okay, let me keep this also on charge. Just a minute. Okay, cool. So driver dot find element by XPath, and here we are going to pass that XPath, and what it will return? It will return login button, right? And on top of that only we can click, right? Because we no need to clear here, so we can directly click on this. Okay, cool. Now, once the login has been done, how we can validate whether the login has got successfully or not? So if you are successfully logged in, then what it will do? you will get a title. You will get a title of the page, like you can see, close this here. You can see here title, you will get it out. So are you able to see the title? Yeah, title. This is the title, right? So you will get this title. If you are not able to log in, then you will not get title. So what we are trying to do, so if driver dot title equal to here we are passing this. If driver dot title is equal to this, then we are going to mark it as print test is test passed. And once the test is passed, then what we have to do, we see in these same row and means in same row and another column, we have to write here as a pass. So what function we should call? Excel utils write data, right? We have a method dot write data, and here we need file, sheet, row number, column number, and data, right? So what we are trying to do, file name is the path, and sheet name is the login, right? Login. And what the things next is needed, row number is row, and column number is what? Third column. This time is third column. Can you see this? Third column. See, third column we have to write. And also we need a data. What data you want to write? Test pass. Test equal to pass. Test pass, right? Else what we have to do? Else we have to write test fail. Else we have to write print test fail, right? And same thing we have to write in the Excel sheet also, right? So Excel utils dot okay write data, and here we are going to write test failed. Oops, yes, awesome. Now up to this we are able to do this. Now it's a testing time. Make sense? So everything is fine. Let me run this code, and if it will work, then if it will not work, then we can debug, but it should work. Let me close this file. We'll open once again. Okay. Let me close this file and we'll run this. Let's see. It got fail. Why it got fail? Selenium, no such element locator method CSS selector ID email. What I passed, find element by ID, yes. Driver dot element, yes, it is fine only. No such element. Okay. Well, yeah, yes, exactly. So what we have to do, so we have to pass that this also, driver dot get. My bad, driver dot get, and here we have to pass that URL. So let me log out first. Okay, Control C, and here we can pass the URL and driver.get, and then okay, Chrome browser will get open, and then that's all. So let me, it's got open actually. So fine, let me run this code once again. So my Chrome browser got opened and it passed the URL also, and now row number and data. What is the error? Is that test fail, Excel util test fail, missing 4 required position argument. Okay, yes. Can you see this? Here we need 5 thing, right, to write the data, right? And yes, to write the data we need a path, and we need which login sheet, which sheet you want to write. So login, and here we have to pass the row number, and we have to pass the column number, means third column, and what is the data you want to write? Test failed. Okay, let me run once again. We'll see what is going to be happened here. Okay, which file is got open here? So yes, okay, now it's done. Login has successfully, and now you can go to your code and it is saying yes, test pass, test fail. And if you want to check in your Excel sheet, just go to your document, wherever your file is there, open that, and you can see test fail, test fail, test fail, and test pass. Make sense? Any doubt? This is all about the data driven testing. Let me close this and let me do one thing. Let me close all those things. Once again, I will show you. Wait a minute. Okay, I am going to clear this file, clear this field, so that once again I can show you, and control S and close this file. Okay, and let me run once again. Yes, it got started. And can you see this? It passed incorrect username, and third time it is passing. Now it is passing correct username, correct password, and it logged in, and it is saying you are passed. Make sense? Any doubt? Also, you can do more implementations. You just explore the Excel utils, open PyExcel file library, and if test, you can write a condition also. See, if I will teach you, I can teach you, but I'm going to give you some problem statement. Just try to explore things. So if test case is fail, then you have to write the data in the red color. If test case will pass, then you have to write the data in the green color. Can you able to do that? It's a inbuilt methods are there. You have to call only. You have to explore the open PyExcel. There is methods. You can do that, right? So hope you can do that, right? So again, I'm trying to recap. See, it's got pass, it got fail. Make sense? Any doubt, guys? So in your use case, it might be use case will get changed. Might be row number, number of row, number of column will get changed. But in our code, we handle very smart way. We see, it's nothing hard coded here. Everything is dynamic. If tomorrow someone is going to add few more username and password, and they are going to say, check this username and password is correct, simply you have to run this script and it will check whether your username and password is correct or not correct. So this is the all about that. So what we did, just I'm trying to give the recap of all over these things so that we all will be in the same page. Okay. So first thing, we have to create our Excel file. Okay. In that Excel file, what to do? We have to store our username, means email, password, and test case status like pass or fail, voila column. And next, what we have to do? We have to create Excel utils. See, we without creation of this also we can do, but again, right now in this file, we are directly calling this method. Instead of calling this method, we have to write this 3 line of code again and again. So it's a very hectic job. So in order to avoid this kind of problem, we create our own method and we are going to directly call those method here so that our task is getting easy. Make sense? Understood? So this is the importance of creation of method. So your task will be easy for you. It make your task easier. And now we are simply passing the path and a sheet name, file and sheet name. And it does, it will give you the maximum number of rows. How many numbers of rows is available in your Excel sheet. So let's suppose right now 5. So 5, now I'm going to iterate on the 5 rows with the for loop, right? And why it is starting from 2? Because if you can go, our data starting point is 2. So that's what I started with the 2. And why row plus 1? That I had given the explanation here only. You can go to there and you can see. If I'm passing 7, so 7 is not getting print. So that's what, if I'll pass the row, then row, how many rows it will return? Can you see this? It will return 5. So 5th wala data, it will not pick. So in order to pick the 5th wala data, what we are trying to do, we are trying to pass row plus 1. So it will execute till 6, but 6 will not print, 7th wala will get print. Done. So here we are trying to read the data. Username is where? Username is in this field, right? So we are trying to read the data. Excel utils again we created our own method and we are going to call those methods. Read data, and here we are passing the path and sheet name, row number, and column number, which row, which column you want to access, and it will return me username. Okay. Going forward, you can do one more thing. 2 tasks I am going to assign you. I don't know how many want to do. First thing, if test case will get passed, then the written data should be in green format. If test case will get fail, then return data should be in red format. Another thing, right now, column number, we are doing the hard coding. Can you see this? So you can create your own method to get a column data also. Okay? So that is your job. You have to do. How to do that? You just think about that. Okay. So I can do how we are taking the this thing, right? Get row count. You can write a method get column count also. Okay. So just try to do. If not, this will not happen, then let me know. I will help you. I can do that. I have already code, but I want to make you guys just make your head dirty here. Okay. Fine. So we are getting password, and we are finding the element for the username, and we are passing that username. Again, we are passing the username on the username field and password on the password field. And yes, we are doing the login, and we are checking whether we reach into the home page or not. If reach into the home page, then we are saying test pass. And if we are not able to reach into the home page due to the any issue, then we are making as a fail. How many you guys understood? Any doubt? I will upload this video, don't worry, very soon, today only after the class. Yes. Yes, exactly. That is a good question, I guess, that I really looking for that.